Welcome to the Ageless Factor with Alita St. James. Each episode features the leading cutting-edge experts in the field of regeneration, longevity, and agelessness. Together, we'll break through the stigma of aging and learn the secrets of winding up and not down at any age.
Hi, welcome. Alita St. James here. And in the Ageless Factor today, I'm going to address this idea about ageless living and regenerating yourself by not always being the giver and the one that everyone can rely on, but to start to focus on self-care and what's important to you. Now, before we started this podcast, I had an interesting conversation with my assistant, Natalia, who is also producing our podcast every week. She does my makeup, she does the filming, she does the whole gazilla, and gives it to the company to post. But the thing is, there's something called The Octopus Teacher, and it's a film, and it's very apropos to what we're talking about. Because the octopus, female octopus, basically tremendously intelligent, gives her life when she gives birth. So many of you, I think, will remember Charlotte's Web, which has the same theme. She gives birth to 1,000 little spiders and then she passes. But the idea of us as women and how we're programmed and what's in our DNA mostly is that we sacrifice ourselves for the good of others. That's what creates our family, and that's what creates the interaction in our relationships. What happens then is as we age, we get depleted. And in my book, I talk about Alpha Burnout. Alpha Burnout happens with women when we've given so much that if somebody asks us for one more thing, we're just going to, go up in flames, and we just don't have the energy. And then you get irritated and exhausted and angry and shut down. Because that part of us, the yin, our left side, which is all Chinese medicine, the yin is the left, the yang is the right. The yang represents the masculine giver, the yin, the feminine receiver. Most of the time, we don't allow ourselves to receive unless we've done a good deed or it's very conditional in terms of everybody else is okay. Then we can receive the joy that everybody's feeling, the togetherness of the family, the togetherness of the relationship, because we've given so much, and then we can receive that joy. But to actually be programmed with a belief system that we deserve to receive and that we come first usually doesn't happen. Now, there are women certainly out there and men that have narcissistic tendencies where it's all about them, and that's really easy to do. However, the majority of the yin personalities in women, it isn't. So I found in my own life, and I'm 76 right now, still going strong, going 120, that I have to really look at my twin situation. Now they're 19, I gave birth at 57. And naturally, as they're growing up and you're nurturing them and creating a safe environment and financial support, it's all about them. They hit 19, 18, 19, and all of a sudden I started to get the realization, where do I fit into this picture as they evolve and get older? Well, maybe it's about mom. Maybe it's about me in my energy healing work and in my transformational work as a intuitive life coach, that instead of being able to take anybody at any time if they're in crisis at my own expense, maybe I don't do that anymore. Maybe it's I set the standard. I know that I have downtime that's really important, that I have to look at how am I structuring things so that it supports me, and that my focus is not just supporting my children and the people in my practice, so that they can transform and evolve. Yes, I get tremendous pleasure and happiness when I see that result. And that's my passion. My book, Life Shift, like Go and Live Your Dream. I'm all about creating dreams for people. But then when you're in this genre and you're in this energy flow, and many of you women out there, especially, and I know there'll be men watching this, but women especially, think, how have I been programmed to be the giver, to be the one that people rely on, that my safety and security and my joy comes from them benefiting, not necessarily me? And if you really look at that and analyze that in terms of, wow, interestingly enough, if you look at the psycho, spiritual, emotional reasons for people to become diseased, take on disease in their body, which is disease, often it comes from being depleted, giving too much, feeling irritated because in our minds, the givers, the agreement is I give to you and make you all great and fine, and then you have enough energy to give to me. And more than usual, that's not usually what happens, especially in a partnership relationship. Often, the woman that is in the relationship, and it doesn't have to be heterosexual, it can be, bisexual, gay, whatever. There's one partner that feels like they have to be the giver to the other one so that everything becomes okay, and then the other one gives back. Well, I'm sure you realize this in your own life. I certainly have in mine, that as soon as they feel like you've given to them and they're fixed and they're fine, they don't feel like you need anything because you've shut down your ask. Or when you ask, you're so depleted and your belief system is that you're not going to get anyway. So you don't create the reality of receiving support. So in my private sessions and in my workshops, I will do processes where we can go into the subconscious and look at what is your belief system on receiving? And more than often, it's very negative. It's like very conditional. Well, I can receive when this and this happens. Or I don't feel like I really deserve to receive. Or when I become successful, then I will deserve to receive. And of course, that's ridiculous because I work with tremendously successful people and they have a problem, believe it or not, in receiving, their deepest dreams and desires. Maybe they can receive, financial, abundance or certain things in their career or celebrityhood, et cetera, et cetera. But when it comes to their deepest dreams and desires in personal relationships, they can go deep down and do that dive and find out, wow, I don't feel like I'm good enough to receive. And that goes into a cellular level with imprints and projections from childhood. So what happens in terms of the ageless factor? We get old, decrepit, and exhausted and depleted. And then the whole idea is, well, grandma comes in and then the grandchildren come over and we make lunch and we make sure grandma and grandpa are happy. And, my mother and my father go over and we go over on Sunday. But by that time, grandma and grandpa are exhausted. And grandma and grandpa might be 50 years old, okay? Or 60. So my point is, at any age, we want to align immediately with the fact that this isn't about narcissism. This isn't about being egocentric. This is about having gratitude and appreciation for who we are as eternal beings of light in a physical body, and that we have needs. And that if we just put out that we're the givers and we don't need anything, then you're going to get to a certain point where that's exactly what you get back. So if you're in those kind of relationships, instead of blaming the other person, oh, you're so selfish, you're that, say, I'm creating my own reality. There's something within inside of me that's creating that person feeling that I don't need anything. The funny thing that I always find with myself, because I am definitely a giver, is that I could start a relationship on a certain level where, and I'm heterosexual, so I get the man is like, "What can I do for you?" And la la, la, and it's reciprocal. And then within like 3 months, all of a sudden, all the problems start coming up, and I have to be the fixer. And so I look at that and go, wait a second, somewhere in my consciousness, I've got like a radio frequency that goes out and says, give me your, you know, sick, homeless, problematic, whatever, I'll fix it person, male in my life. And that'll create some kind of security or whatever. All right. So I'm definitely leveling out of that one and moving into mutual gain and support where I don't have to be the miracle woman that comes in and makes everything better because I can. And I do. I do that in my practice. I have a gift. I've studied 99 years to be able to develop it. Also many lifetimes. I can do it. But the fact doesn't matter. Do I want to do it in my personal relationships all the time? No, I really don't. So that's a good thing. So I want to invite you to think about that no matter what age you are. You could be 20, 30, 60, 70. It's not too late to say, I'm here. This is what I've experienced in my life. This is what continuing to come up. I'm creating part of this by either eliciting from the person this kind of behavior or bringing in people that only function out of being given to and that they're needy in some kind of way. And so I don't want to do that anymore. So then what do I have to do? Well, first of all, you need to do a meditation. Let's do it right now, right? So take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and in through your nose and out through your mouth. And get that rhythm going with the breath like the waves of the ocean, because we are our breath. And if you're holding your breath, you're holding everything, your energy into one tight fist. We want it fluid. We want feelings and energy and thoughts to move fluidly. So you're breathing in and out. And then I want you to visualize a foot from the top of your head, which is your crown chakra, a gold light, because gold transforms energy. And if you can't see the color gold, think of something that's gold and you'll see it. And if it's still difficult, don't worry. I'm seeing it, so I'm projecting it. So as you breathe in, you want to feel that you're breathing in these rays of golden light into every cell of your body with the intention that you're going to identify a belief system or belief systems inside of you that says, this is your survival. This is how you need to act. This is what people expect of you. And this is how you get love. So keep breathing. And then what's a good place to put your focus on is any of the chakras, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your second chakra, 6 inches below your belly button, your tailbone, your third eye. It's not in your third eye, all right? But it's in these chakras, okay? Where am I holding the pain of not receiving? Where do I feel like I'm not enough to be able to receive and that this is my lot in life? And how am I feeling so exhausted? I'm feeling exhausted because I did such, and didn't receive anything back. I asking, but nobody seems to be listening. Well, that's probably because they're not used to listening. They think that you're fine and that you can handle anything. So unless you're drowning and something is tremendously extreme, you just keep functioning like that. And that's what creates in many people extreme sicknesses, because they feel like unless they totally take them out, totally take themselves out and are debilitated, nobody's going to listen. So we don't want you to be in that genre at all, in your agelessness and your vitality and your excitement about life. We want you to feel that you're receiving support, you're receiving love, you're receiving what you ask for in terms of your personal needs. And guess what? People are actually listening and following through. So find that chakra. Could be your heart center, could be your solar plexus, your second center. Put your hand there and breathe into it to the count of 5. And whatever you're holding on that's negative about not receiving, not deserving, having to work extra hard to prove that you do deserve, and nobody's listening, hold it for the count of 5. Surround it with the gold light, and then exhale it out into the universe. And breathe. Hold it for the count of 5, and exhale it out into the universe. One more time, you do that. And then exhale it out into the universe. Now you can continue doing this until you feel like it's neutralized, and then stop the tape, and then continue when it feels like it's neutralized. The next step is to think about your left side that you're receiving yin side. Breathe. Think of the color silver coming in through the top of your head, because that's cosmic mother that's receiving. And then what I want you to do is think of someone that you love very much. It could be a child, it could be a pet, it's unconditional, a parent, whatever, a painting that you did, something creative. Get the feeling going. Connect it with that silver energy and just breathe it in to your whole left side in terms of love. And when you love somebody, you want to give to them. And when you feel loved, you feel entitled to receive. So you need to feel that you are unconditionally loving you just because. Not because you've done something, you've supported somebody, you've proved yourself, you've won the Olympics, you're in Mensa in terms of Harvard University. No, because of you as a eternal being having a physical experience in your physical body. That's one of the lessons that we come into a physical body to experience and to give to ourselves in the physical. It's the spiritual energy that's connecting to your physical being. You can't do that outside of your body. You have to do that within your body. So feel that law of magnetic attraction in terms of loving you just because. And with the silver energy, and I'm channeling and transmitting that energy to you, and many of you will feel it because it's all law of resonance, then you feeling that you're filling yourself up with that sense of love. So instead of looking at for in the outside, you're feeling it on the inside. And then you move into I am, which is your higher spiritual self and its physical body. And what do I, as a being, as a physical person here in this third dimension, need right now without doing anything for it? So more love, more support, more finances, a relationship that really works, that's a co-creative relationship, and breathe. And exhale. And breathe. And exhale. And breathe. And exhale. Now, I want you to do this every day. Really move into that higher level of consciousness of learning to love and honor and appreciate yourself with a sense of gratitude for who you are as a being, and receive and allow the support that is unconditional, that you give to yourself, and therefore it reflects back to you. Now, when you do that, and I'm still working on it because that's not my nature, all right? That's not my DNA. That's not how I've been programmed. I come from an Italian Polish background. That's not what I grew up with. But there's no time like the present. We want to create our reality and our strength and our new reality from the present, not from our past, but from the present. And start leveling up and have a different experience, because I will tell you, when you allow yourself to receive in a collaborative sense, you have more energy, more love, more excitement, and more inspiration to live, as long as you decide you want to live without being decrepit, old, ill, unhappy, and left alone. That is not in my reality. And that, for me, is not in your reality. So let's level up, really move into loving and supporting yourself in a positive spiritual way, and start to live from that amazing, miraculous, what else is possible self. My love and blessings to you on your journey, Alita St. James.